If you're like me, then you're absolute diehard Sarah J. Maas fan, and you've read all of her 3 famous series. So now you're wondering, what the hell do I do with my life, and what the hell do I read next? Well, don't worry, because I read over 100 romantasies a year, and I've got the perfect recs for ACOTAR fans, Throne of Glass lovers, and Crescent City girls. So let's get into it. So when looking at Sarah J. Maas's most popular series, I usually like to categorize my recs based on 3 big things, okay? If you're an ACOTAR lover, then you're gonna love the plot spice balance with still some epic fantasy elements, but we're bringing the heat as well, with romance right at the front of the story. For my Throne of Glass lovers, you still want to bring the tension and have a little bit of heat in there too, but you're okay with the romance being a little more subplot and those epic fantasy elements being way more of the forefront of the story with plot. And for my Crescent City girls, you might like more of an urban fantasy vibe, so I've got just that for you as well. Okay, diving into it, ACOTAR lovers, one of the first books I want to recommend to you is Heavenly Bodies. After reading this, I was like, that gave me the ACOTAR feels, okay? You know exactly what I'm talking about, that feeling when you finish ACOTAR for the first time and you feel like you're floating, you're levitating. Well, then Heavenly Bodies is going to do that for you while still being unique in its own with a slow burn romance and a lot of like gods elements to it, and I absolutely love that. The plot is beautiful as well as like the setting is very, very beautiful. Next, I'd recommend Shield of Sparrows. This in itself is very unique, but I think it is perfect for my ACOTAR lovers because it still has very much that epic fantasy setting. It's a very unique setting with like these monster elements to it. We've got a bodyguard, he trains her trope, as well as an arranged marriage. And there's a lot you're trying to figure out as this book goes on, and I'm still having a lot of questions going into book 2, so I cannot wait for book 2 to come out, but I think that this is perfect because it still brings the heat that our ACOTAR lovers want. Next, you're going to want to read A Requiem for Fallen Stars, and I actually have the physical copy because look at her, she's gorgeous, she's a trophy you'll want to have. This one has those epic fantasy elements with our FMC going on this big quest and going through these trials to try and get out of a very shitty situation. She was going through it, ladies, okay? The magical elements of this are beautiful, and the MMC in this is a shadow daddy. So what more could you ask for? Next, you're going to want to read the Ever King series, okay? If you are a Rhysand girl and you haven't met this MMC, then you're definitely going to want to because he's flirty and he's morally gray, just how we like him. And it's Fae and pirates meeting, okay? So it's like a Pirates of the Caribbean meets ACOTAR. What are you doing if you haven't read this one yet? Now, it is time, okay? Throne of Glass is my baby. It is my god tier series from Sarah J. Maas and my all-time favorite. So if you want to scratch that Throne of Glass itch, then you're definitely going to want to read these books. Starting off strong with the Ashen series by Demi Winters, okay? The first 3 books are out currently, and each book gets better and better, which is just how we like it. It is Vikings and magic, ladies, okay? And it brings the heat. I would recommend this to ACOTAR and Throne of Glass lovers because it does have that plot spice balance, okay? It is higher on the spice scale than Throne of Glass, but it does have that like epic storytelling parts, okay? And it goes into multi-POV into book 2, and it just is like it's an epic Viking fantasy with magic, and I absolutely love it. If you follow me on IG, you will see that I will never stop recommending this one, so just pick it up already and make me happy, all right? Now, one of the most perfect trilogies that you're going to want to read if you are a Throne of Glass fan is Daughter of No Worlds. This one will definitely do it for you if you're looking for something like Throne of Glass. We follow Tasana, who is very Aelin Galathinius coded. She comes from slavery. She has also been through it, and now she is learning magic and being mentored by an MMC, Max, who is severely underrated. He's a golden retriever, and it is just a story you're definitely going to want to dive into. Very much an epic fantasy with a subplot of romance, though the romance is right there, and it's just lower on the spice scale, okay? But very much like Throne of Glass in that sense. Next, for my Throne of Glass lovers, you're going to want to jump into the Bridge Kingdom duology. This is a series of interconnected duologies, but the Bridge Kingdom especially is for Throne of Glass fans. It is lower on the spice scale, but it does still have a very good romance. It follows an assassin, so if you love your girl Aelin Galathinius, again, you're gonna love the FMC in this. She is smart and she is witty, and she is in an arranged marriage where she plans to kill her husband. There's a ton of political intrigue in this one, which I loved, and it's written fantastically. Now, my final rec for today for Throne of Glass fans is When the Moon Hatched. Now, this is one of those books that I hear people either love it or they hate it. I'm team love it. I think it's an absolute masterpiece, okay? This is another one that kind of bridges the gap between ACOTAR and Throne of Glass. It has a very epic fantasy setting, okay? The world building is immersive and it is insane, and I respect it, okay? It's poetic, it follows an assassin, so it's going to check off those boxes while still having a romance that is heated, okay? It does bring more spice than Throne of Glass. It's more on the similar spice scale to ACOTAR, so you're gonna like that aspect to it if you like that. And it has dragons that when they die, they go up and turn into moons, and I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, now let's get into it for my Crescent City girls, okay? Now I do have to say Crescent City is my least favorite of Sarah J. Maas's series. Now it's still good and it's still written very well, of course, as usual. Sarah J. Maas writes brilliantly, but it is my least favorite. But I think that's just because it's an urban fantasy, and that usually isn't my jam. But I do have a few recs for my Crescent City girls, and I still like to mix it in, so let's get into it. Now, my number one recommendation for Crescent City girls is City of Gods and Monsters, okay? Arguably, this is even better than Crescent City, in my opinion. And that is mainly because of Darian motherfucking Cassell, okay? He is a bounty hunter who's a golden retriever, touch her and you die kind of guy, and he's yadded head to toe. What more could you ask for? Honestly, we've got that urban fantasy elements with it being in a city with a ton of all the mythical creature shebang going on with werewolves and vampires and demon hunters and bounty hunters and all of that. Okay, so you're gonna get what you want, and you're gonna get a club scene that is, it's gonna do it for you. Next, I recommend Reign of Shadows and Endings. Now this one is dark, okay? It doesn't have a whimsical romance. The MMC in this literally owns the FMC. They have no like rights in this world, and it is dark, okay? It's going to make you frustrated. It's going to make you want to throw your book, and it is written incredibly, and it is very unique, and it does have the whole shebang of mythical creatures as well as like a city setting. So it is going to scratch that itch a bit, but it definitely is a book of its own, and it is darker, okay? So if you wanted Crescent City to be darker, then maybe you want to try this. Now, I can't talk about books to read if you like Crescent City without bringing up Zodiac Academy. Now, Zodiac Academy is like reality TV. You'll put it on, you'll binge it, and you'll wonder, why can't I stop watching this? That's how it feels to read Zodiac Academy, because there's going to be words thrown in there like Ferrari, and you're just going to want to delete that from your mind. But this is a long ass series. If you haven't heard of it already, then I'm genuinely surprised. It does follow two twins that go into like this magical university, and it's got like zodiac signs mixed in, elemental magic, and I thought those aspects were very cool. But it's a ton of drama, and it's definitely going to be something that you can't put down if you love a good reality TV show. I think you'll enjoy this. It's a lot of fun. It is a damn good time. I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece. There's going to be moments that you're like, what the hell am I reading? But just continue on with it and have fun. Now, another one on top of that Zodiac Academy kind of vibe is Avalon Tower. It has a Fae Spy Academy, and it's got that urban elements as well interwoven into it. And it's got like this dream stalker MMC that shows up more in book 2, but he's who you're going to be wanting to read for, okay? He delivers. He delivers. But this one, very much like Zodiac Academy, is going to have some words that you're going to just want to remove from your mind, like Fae France, okay? You're just going to want just pretend you didn't see that. But overall, this trilogy is awesome, and it is a damn good time for my Crescent City girls. I think it'll do it for you. I think it'll do it for you. Okay, so now that you're fully stacked for my ACOTAR lovers, my Throne of Glass fans, and my Crescent City girls, then stick around, like, and subscribe, because there's more where that came from, because once again, your girl loves romantasy, and I will keep the recs coming.